The third season of Scorpion ran for 25 episodes, with its first episode, Civil War, broadcasting first on October 3rd, 2016, and the last episode, Scorp Family Robinson, debuting on May 15th, 2017. The entire cast returned for the third go-round, including Elias Gable, Catherine McPhee, Eddie K. Thomas, Shaden Wong, Ari Stidham, Robert Patrick, and Riley B. Smith, as well as a couple of others who returned, including Kevin Wiseman and Scott Porter, and two new characters, Leah Thompson, played by Leah Thompson, and Ryko Aylesworth. The third season saw the team having to once again deal with a load of problems, including ones close to home, including Happy's marriage and later apparent pregnancy, Walter's citizenship, Sylvester's political career, and Cape's new girlfriend, but also having to deal with much larger plots because they're Scorpion, including out-of-control fighter jets over LA, a space launch that Walter ends up getting caught up in, the disappearance of a non-verbal autistic child during a field trip, a museum heist, dealing with bats in a cave who have supposedly contracted some sort of disease, missing votes during a US election, an exploding lake in Ireland, an unstable nuclear reactor found in an abandoned warehouse, a woman who accidentally gets stuck in a set of tar pits, a sinkhole which threatens all of LA's fresh water supply, trying to get a refugee out of a chess tournament, an ergot infection during, in the middle of the seed vaults, a girl trying to save a girl with immunodeficiency and aplastic anemia, the Marari virus in the jungle, an asteroid, and of course a fire in a coal mine, as well as several others. Now, I think this time around my favourite episode I'd say it's a choice of two. It's either Dirty Seeds Done Dirt Cheap, which is the episode in which the team are sent to the seed vaults in order to try and reset their equipment, because it turns out that due to the clocks having been changed, the seed vault clocks are slightly off by an hour or so. So once they can reset the clocks, they can go back to what they were doing. Only Sylvester, Happy, and Cabe end up inhaling ergot spores, or ergot fungus, which causes them to hallucinate their darkest fears, with Sylvester imagining the room is filled with chickens, which he has a fear of ever since when he was in the third grade, someone locked him in a chicken coop. Happy remembering her past days in orphanages and being constantly passed over for adoption, and Cabe fearing he's getting old and the 15-year age gap in between him and his new girlfriend, Allie. To which I feel that the ergot spores and the hallucinations they go through is quite a creative premise, and they do have a lot of fun with it. I mean, especially Eddie K. Thomas and Jaden Wong here, especially, they managed to pass off two people who genuinely care for each other, but then also the fears that she has. I feel it's done very well. The other episode that I would possibly say is my favourite of this bunch is Don't Burst My Bubble, which is that Happy ends up she's on a mechanics fan page, and she asked for a set of schematics from somebody, but when they don't respond, she goes looking and finds out that the person on the other end was a teenage girl, and two, she's been sealed in a bubble, a plastic bubble, for the past 2 years because she has immunodeficiency brought on by aplastic anemia, basically meaning that she has to have her own controlled airspace. She hasn't actually been able to hug her dad for 2 years. She hasn't been able to do any of the stuff that other teenagers her age have been able to do. She's not even been able to go to winter formal because the air would kill her. Like, she would succumb to her... because she has no immune system, she would die almost instantly. So they've got to find out when her bubble ends up getting under threat due to a hurricane that passed through. They have to find a way to save her while her not getting sick. And it's a tense atmosphere, but then you really do feel for her. As I said, they also do introduce two new characters with Veronica Deneen, played by Leah Thompson, who is supposed to be Paige's mother, and from what she gathered, she was never a very good mother because she was constantly looking for the next get-rich-quick scheme, while Paige was always either a pawn in her plans or was always left behind, causing a bit of resentment. But we can see over time that she does legitimately care for her, and the method that they eventually use to, well, I won't reveal it here, but then when she ultimately does have to leave, they manage to do some quite clever stuff to allow her to leave, because she is a criminal, but at the same time, they do manage to do some quite funny stuff with her, and I think I do like the kind of dynamic she has with some of the other characters, especially with Walter, when she says to him, you know what, I really hope you two end up together, and then looks over at Tim and is like, because that guy's setting roots. And, you know what, I found her fun. The other new character is, of course, Ali, played by Reiko Aylesworth, and she's lovely. I mean, she is a person caught between two worlds, effectively, because she's... When Sly finds out that his favourite kind of hangout spot and the comic shop and also a place where he holds D&D meetings is going to be shut down, he runs to be alderman of West Altadena. And Ali is kind of the campaign manager, or at least the personal assistant of the opposition. And the way that she is, as I said, caught between two worlds. I mean, she loves Kay, but then she has to do a lot of what her... oh god, a lot of what her boss says. Basically, she has to run his campaign and make sure he wins. But then when he ultimately gives her an order to release a video that causes Sly to lose, and Cabe ultimately ends up dumping her for it, you do feel for them, because these are two people who do genuinely care for each other. And then when they ultimately work something out, it's nice to see. I think my favourite scene is in Dirty Seeds Done Dirt Cheap, which is towards the end of the episode when they're meeting while Sly and his opponent are having a debate. She asks him if he wants to go out for a bite later. He goes, alright, but no vegan thrill. I hate that place. But that dozens of times. Hate it every time. Look, I'm older, but that just means I've had more experience, and I wouldn't want to change who I am. It's just like, I like classic cars, vintage suits, Frank Sinatra. You fit right into my wheelhouse, Mr. Gallo. To which I love that. Just two people who recognise that, okay, they are different, but at the same time, they like each other and want to get together. Now, ultimately, with Season 3, the one thing I feel coming to the end of is, do I really want to continue to Season 4? Because here's the thing, I know that after Season 4, Scorpion was cancelled. And as a result of this, they ended on a cliffhanger, and whether they planned to sort it out with an eventual Season 5 that just never happened, or whether it was always intended to end this way, I don't know. But while I do have the kind of technology and the stuff now to be able to watch Season 4 at some point, at this point I just want to give everyone the happy ending. I mean, without going into too much, Season 3 ends on rather a happy ending. The people you want to see get together are together, the people you want to see married are married, the people you want to see going on to greater things, they're going to do great things. And I kind of just want it to stay that way, at least for a little bit. I mean, I know that Season 4 did happen and things did get a lot more complicated along the way, but I'd say for now, I'll stop for a bit on Scorpion with Season 3, but at the same time, I've watched enough of Scorpion to now consider it one of my favourite TV shows. I think personally I'd consider it my 6th favourite TV show of all time. And I know that might sound harsh, but that's still, I mean, I've got now 9 TV shows in my top that I would consider my favourites, and number 6, while it might sound low, it is still a really good show. It pushes down Dollhouse to number 7, The Goes Wrong Show to number 8, and House MD to number 9. But you know what? It's underneath Firefly, and you know what? That's good enough for me. So, Scorpion Season 3, I love this show, and while I don't know if I'm going to continue to Season 4, I really do enjoy this show. It's now one of my favourite shows of all time, and I really think you should check it out if you haven't already. I mean, considering I came to this show because of a Facebook video, kind of clips from a Season 1 episode where they were destroying a painting in a priceless art gallery because they recognised it was fake. I just grew to love this show. For one that I saw in a Facebook video 2 years ago, it's now become one of my favourite shows. And if you haven't seen Scorpion, I'd advise you to check it out. It's a lot of fun. So there you go. There's my thoughts on Scorpion Season 3. Yeah. Good night.